Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is my surgery vlog on my trip to DR, and this is how I pack my money in my little purse. This is also a clip of in the airport. My flight was originally supposed to leave I think at 10 something, and it got delayed. It didn't get to leave until like 1 something. My flight got really delayed, really late. So I was in the airport for like 5 hours, close to 6 hours waiting. Elevator. I didn't know which one. I'm showing you guys a clip of my Airbnb. I decided to stay in an Airbnb. I had someone staying with me, and I also hired a private nurse to stay with me also because I didn't want to do a recovery house. And my Airbnb, I made sure I booked my Airbnb close to Cipla because that's where I had surgery at. The Airbnb I stayed in was a 1 bedroom. It had 2 bathrooms with a washroom, with washer and dryer. Washer and dryer was very important for me. So if you're booking and you're planning to have surgery, make sure you have washer and dryer because you're going to be washing your faja a lot. So you need to make sure you have a washer and dryer in the Airbnb if you plan to stay in the Airbnb. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I'm really excited, but I've recorded this probably over 4 different times now because I'm trying to not make you guys hear the background noise. Okay, so I'm currently in Dominican Republic and I had tummy tuck, lipo, and BBL. So I'm addicted to watching these videos on YouTube. So I said when it's my turn, I'm going to make these videos. So let's see, where do I start off? I am 4 days post-op today. I had my surgery on Wednesday and today is a Sunday, and today's the best I felt. Not saying the past 3 days I felt horrible, but the past 3 days it was more soreness and stiffness. Today I feel a little bit more loose. Okay, so I had surgery on Wednesday. My surgery was, it took like 5 hours. I had surgery late. So let's start off. Where should I start off first? All right, let me start off with the whole trip. Okay. So, no, I shouldn't start there. Let me just start off with my post-op days. So, I'm 40 post-op, like I said before, and my surgery was 5 hours. Yes, 5 hours. And let's see. When I first got to the DR, I had a driver, and I love the driving company that I use. I love them. They was punctual. They was always on time. I never had to really wait for them. So I like the driving company I chose. And it was 10 rides. And yeah. So one of my tip is you should get a driving company. But guess what? Uber here is very, very cheap. I took an Uber to the mall. Traffic is really bad in the DR though. But I took an Uber to the mall. The most an Uber out here cost me was $4 anywhere. The most it cost was $4. Yes, so Uber is very cheap, but the reason why I say you could, because the driving company gives you 10 rides within your package deal. when you should not, outside of the package deal, if you want to go somewhere, you should take an Uber because it's really cheap. But I would take an Uber, but I'm only taking an Uber at nighttime. And I always had somebody came on this trip with me, so I always had a companion. So I felt good going outside with somebody. Okay, so being saying that why you should get you a driver, right? Like my first day here was I left home on a Friday. I arrived here Saturday early morning. I stayed in an Airbnb. I couldn't do a recovery house. Thank God somebody came here with me because I've been hearing horror stories about recovery house. Y'all strong to do a recovery house. I'm not knocking y'all, but I couldn't do a recovery house. And I'm very oversensitive, so anything would get me mad. And I don't want to be mad when I'm recovering. So even though I have been mad, yes, but I couldn't do a recovery house, so I stayed in an Airbnb. So I got here, and then I was supposed to see my doctor on a Monday. The Monday I got here, it's a damn holiday. Why didn't nobody tell me this before I got here earlier? So the Monday was a holiday, so everything was closed, and I couldn't get labs. I couldn't see my doctor. So the Tuesday I went to see. Tuesday, my doctor. What I like about my doctor is that I had surgery at Cipla. His office is at Cipla, but you do lives at Central Medical. I think it's less than a 10 minutes drive from Cipla, but traffic is really bad, so you'll be in the car for like 10 minutes. But having a driver, my driver drive me to Central Medical. They supposed to open at 7, I think. I got there early in the morning. I was the first one there, and my driver, other people showed up, and it's like I don't speak Spanish, so they know that I don't speak Spanish. Like they would try to cut in front of you and anything, but my driver spoke up for me. He like give me your passport, gave him my passport. You have to travel with your passport to all your appointments. I gave him my passport, and he basically did all the talking for me. That's why I said I recommend the driver. Did all the talking for me, and I was in and out. Cause everybody always say labs is horrible. Labs is this. No, my labs went smooth. Went smooth. I was out of there within 1 hour. I had to do labs and I had to do X-ray. And the labs was like right here, and then the X-ray room was right there. So I was in the within an hour I was gone. So that was really helpful. Then I went to see my doctor. When I went to see my doctor, I met two girls from two different states because I'm from New York. I think one is from Texas and New Jersey. They had surgery before me by my doctor, and they was telling me how everything went for them. So it was cool to talk to people. Yes, but my doctor takes long for everything. They had a 9 o'clock appointment with him. He didn't show up until like 12 o'clock. Yeah, so that was that day. And what I thought was, because they always say everybody always want money, money, money in DR, but it wasn't like that with my doctor. My doctor didn't even want me to pay him until everything came back okay. So after I went with my doctor, I spoke to my doctor. So I had to pause on the recording because I kept on hearing the bell ringing, but I'm not expecting nobody, so that was creepy. So let's continue. So after labs, I went back, met my doctor, talked to the girls. So then I had to do EKG. I had to get EKG clearance. So it was just so I swear to God, the vlogs I watch about how much run around and how the day of labs was so hectic you couldn't eat. Yeah, you can't eat. You're not supposed to eat for labs until after. Like it's gonna be a whole day process. It wasn't like that for me. Like I was like, yo, Jesus, you really want me to have this surgery? Because it was like no hurdle. Everything was just like swift, 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 fast, fast, fast. So my doctor is in room 506 at Cipla, and the EKG was across the the room, and his assistant name is Crystal. She just walked me into the office, and I took my EKG, got my clearance, went back. So then she's like, okay, she has to wait for the blood work and everything to come back, and then if everything is good tomorrow, I'll have my surgery. And they still didn't want me to pay until everything came back. But I spoke to my doctor. He was like, what do you want done? I told him. He looked at me. I wasn't fully naked. I had on jean shorts and shirt. He seen that my stomach was big because my stomach was big. So he was like, okay, yes. So then he was like, what kind of booty do you want? I was like, big. But, oh, I should have stuck with the big. All right. So, like earlier, I was saying I met one girl. She was like, yeah, I told him I wanted big, but I think he went too big. So I felt like what she told me that scared me a little because I'm like, damn, like my leg is really thick. Like I have nice thick legs, but it'd be so funny. People, I'd be walking and people would look and wait to see that, like they would expect to see something back there, but my was flat. Like my ass was flat like a pancake. I have thick ass legs, but my ass was flat. So I just told him, like, the day of surgery, I told him, like, please just make my legs match. Do not give me, he was like, do you still want big? I was like, no, medium. Just make my legs match. Because my fear is I'd rather do around two than walk around looking like a fucking ant or a fucking two. I'd rather do around two than walk around looking like an ant or a two. I do not want a big old donkey booty and it don't match my legs, even though my legs is thick. So I told him medium, and I think he delivered and gave me medium, but now I wish I said bigger. Yes, so I'm having blues. Some of my friends told me already that it's gonna fluff out. I should just be patient, but I'm already thinking about round two, but let's see. So, yes. So then we came home the day of labs. No, after labs, what did I do? Did I come home? I think I went to the mall that day. I went to the mall, did some shopping. It's funny because I was born in the US, but my entire family is Jamaican, and I go to Jamaica a lot. So I was expecting DR to be like Jamaican. It's so sad to say this because I'm a die-hard Jamaican. Like, I love Jamaica. But DR is more developed than Jamaica. And it's a good thing, but it's like, it was like a sad thing because, like, I'm a die-hard Jamaican. In the malls, they had malls, like real malls with stores that's in the US that Jamaica don't have. Like, Jamaica, we got to do better now. We got to do better, Jamaica. Yes, so I went to the mall. We tried their food here. It was good. Yes. So that was good. And then we came home. I kept on writing the assistant because she kept on getting on my nerves because it's like I'm eager to have surgery. Like I want to have surgery. She's like, oh, we didn't get your labs result back then. Then she told me, oh, we got your labs result back, like mad late in the night. And the thing is, like, I didn't want to continue eating, and if I had to have surgery the next day, because I think the cutoff time was 9 or 8 p.m. And miss, you're not gonna tell me at 12 in the night tomorrow surgery. I already done 8, so that's why I was really feeling. I was bothering her. So then she texted me and told me that I got cleared for surgery to come tomorrow in the morning. So, what pissed me off? You see, I told you that everything was going smooth for me. Let's see what pissed me off. What pissed me off was the next day, the Wednesday morning, the day of surgery. I go to have surgery. I go up there, and there's other girls. There's 2 girls in this office already. One of them is going to prep to have surgery, but they're local girls. They're both from Dominican Republic. And I see that Crystal, that's my surgeon assistant, she has my medical, and she's like, oh, everything is good, you got clearance from everything. Only person you need clearance now from is the anesthesiologist. And the anesthesiologist is at first floor downstairs in Ciplo. She walks me downstairs, there's a line. But what I like about down there is a lot of girls come to the DR and they stick with, like, they all go to like the popular doctor, like Duran, Disla, Cabral. So it was mad girls there for Cabral, mad girls there for Duran and Disla. So I got to skip a lot of them because they only wanted like one patient per doctor in the room. So I felt so good, like, oh, there's nobody else here for my doctor, so I don't gotta wait on this long ass line. So yeah, that happened. So I met with the anesthesiologist. It went smooth. But what I don't like is I'm not expecting how things to be done in the US to be done here because it's 2 different countries. But it's like some things are common sense. Like, we're all in a room, we're all having surgery, and we can all hear each other business. Like, the anesthesiologist is asking us personal questions. Like, imagine somebody don't want people to know some things about them. Like, you haven't had surgeries. Like, everybody had an abortion, they don't want you to know. Yeah, so asking personal questions like that, diseases and all those type of stuff. So that happened, and then what? This is not funny, but it's not funny, but it's kind of funny. Okay, so I know that I weigh like naturally growing up, I was always a slim girl. After high school, I was slim too. I always had big titties, but I was always slim. College, you put on the freshman 15, fuck that. I gotta stop cursing. I did not put on the freshman 15. I put on like the freshman 40. After sophomore and junior year of college, I blew up. Like, I gained weight, and like my weight don't like it, like, oh, because even we're in 2021, 2 years ago, 2019, I had VSG surgery because after I had my baby in 2017, I only have one kid, and I gained like I gained like 20 pounds during pregnancy, but after pregnancy, I gained like 80 pounds. So I needed the VSG to help me lose all that pound. So with my VSG, I lost like 80 pounds. 80 pounds. So that helped me. And then after VSG, I had a lot of loose skin, like my arms, my legs, my stomach was, oh. So I always knew that after VSG, I was going to get plastic surgery. And so that happened. So back to the anesthesiologist. I know my weight. I know my weight and I know my height. The lady, the anesthesiologist assistant, she tells me to take off my shoes, step on the scale. I step on the scale. She takes my height. At the end, after I got clear, I didn't really get clearance from the. All right, at the end, I see on my chart, she wrote that I am 5'4". Miss, I am not 5'4". I wish I was 5'4". I am 5'2" and a half. I've been that height for since probably ending of high school. That's always been my height. Miss, I knew I did not grow. So, Miss, you're lying. And she put my pound 5 pounds less. Miss, stop your lying. My doctor BMI requirement is a 37. My BMI is like a 36. At the end, it said my BMI was 33.4. Miss, that is not my BMI, that is not my weight, and that is not my height. I don't know what kind of measurements you're getting, but that was not my info. So that happened. So then I'm talking to the anesthesiologist. She's like, "Oh, I can't give you clearance yet because you have to go get a COVID. You gotta go get a COVID test." So when you come here to the DR, coming to the DR, you didn't need a COVID test. So I'm tired of getting COVID tests because when I travel to Jamaica and to come back into America, you have to get COVID tests. I'm tired of that. I do not want no more COVID tests. I'm like, if the GR ain't requiring it, I ain't taking it. So, but on lab day, they gave you a COVID test, but it was by your blood. And they test you for COVID now and for the antibody. My labs came back that I was positive for the antibody. My thing that pissed me off is like everything was going smooth, but literally the day of surgery, you're going to tell me that I don't got clearance. So, what I didn't like was my surgeon assistant. She could have looked at that and told me that. So I could have gone back to Central Medical early in the morning and paid $40 US to get the PCR test stuck up my nose so I could get clearance. So I go back up to my doctor's room and told her. She's like, "Oh yeah, you gotta go to Central Medical and get a," and she explained it to me. She's like, "You don't got COVID now, but you have the antibodies. That means you either had the vaccine or you have had COVID in the past." And so one time I traveled to Jamaica and I was sick while I was in Jamaica, but I just thought it was just like change of weather. I was coming back on a flight and I had to get a COVID test done before I leave Jamaica to come back to the US. And that was the first non-scary COVID test I had to take because I had my daughter with me and she put on a show. Like, that was her first COVID test. She put on a show. She did not want them to do the COVID test. I think they just went gentle on me because I'm used to them sticking it all the way up in my nose. They just tickled my daughter's nose, and I think they did it to make her. So I don't even know if I was positive for COVID, but the test came back, it was negative. But I did feel sick. Then when I went home, I felt worse. When I went reach back in America, I felt worse. I couldn't smell. My back hurt. I was having pains I never felt in life. And I didn't even know I couldn't smell. It's like one day the maintenance people came to my apartment to fix something, and it was like, oh, I like what you're cooking. I smell it. And I was like, oh shit, I can't smell. Like I noticed that I'm not smelling it, but I didn't say nothing to them. I went to urgent care, took a COVID test, came back negative. But I told my doctor and system, she gonna say, oh, it probably is a false negative. It happens. So in my head, even though I felt like I had COVID, I took two tests now within 1 week apart, and they both said negative, so I never had COVID. So coming to DR, I found out that I really did have COVID, so I had the antibodies. So I went, and this is why I say use the driver again. I called the driver when I was leaving Sibling and told them what happened, and they said, okay, we're gonna bring you to Central Medical to take a PCR test. Central Medical was full because it was already like 11 in the morning. It was already full. My driver took my passport again, brought me to the front of the line, and the lady was mad rude. She was like, oh, it's gonna take 2 hours. But because of my drive, it didn't take 2 hours. It took like less than an hour, and I had my COVID test back done. And then he brought me back to CIPLA, and I got cleared for surgery from the anesthesiologist. And then remember earlier I said that there was two local girls in the in his office for surgery, but one of them was having surgery. The other one was her friend. He had her in surgery for like a whole 6 hours. I was waiting forever. It felt like forever, 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 forever for him to finally see me. So he was on the fifth floor. So then on the fourth floor is when they prep you to have, what's that thing? They prep you for surgery. That's another thing. There is no privacy. Where it's like all the girls is in a room, the doctors come and they draw on you, different doctors. My doctor came and he draw on me. I'm sitting there, they put the IV in my hand. Then this girl comes, she's for a whole different doctor. I think she was for Cabral. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, but you're about to see all my goodies. I'm like, it's okay, girl. But y'all need to learn to give people privacy. So she seen me completely naked, I seen her completely naked. So that happened, and then I went into surgery, I think around 6. By 1 o'clock 6 p.m. By 1 o'clock a.m. I was out of surgery. That's how long it took. And I woke up during surgery, like during the last part of surgery, and I never went back out. All I remember is they wheeled me down in the elevator. Oh, that's my drain that's hurting me right now. They wheeled me down in the elevator, and it was like different operating rooms, and they put me on the table. They put something in my IV, and oh yeah, I spoke to my doctor before that, and that's when I told him no big. I told him medium, but I wish I said big. So then when I'm downstairs, she put me on the table. This anesthesiologist, she put something in my IV, and I went to sleep. I woke up during surgery, and I feel like the reason why I woke up during surgery is because the anesthesiologist that gave me clearance lied and said that I was 5'4", and my BMI was 34 something, and my weight was lower. So I feel like they didn't give me enough anesthesia, so that made me wake up during surgery. But when I woke up during surgery, I wasn't feeling no pain, but I felt tugging. I knew that he was closing my tummy tuck incision, and I kept on trying to move it. He kept on telling me stop moving. I just really wanted to see, because they had like this big green thing blocking my face, so I couldn't see the bottom. Yeah, and then after, I know I got wheeled into, wait, they didn't wheel me. Yeah, they wheeled me, but on the bed, into another room where I had to stay there for like, they said an hour, but it didn't feel like an hour. I stayed there for like 30 minutes with all the girls that came out of surgery. I seen the girl that I was in the room with, that I seen her naked, she seen me naked, and I felt like I needed to vomit. It's, oh, the problem with me is like I watch too much of these videos, so I was thinking like what happened to other girls might happen to me, because they said they needed to vomit. I felt like I needed to vomit, but I did not need to vomit. I kept on asking for a bucket. He gave me a bucket, but I didn't really need to vomit. But I was shivering. I was so cold. I was shaking. I was shaking. I was shaking. I was shaking. And I was trying to make sure my legs was moving. I was trying to make sure my fingers was moving. Yes, so that happened. And then they wheeled me up to my room, and I had a roommate. So my roommate, she was a local, she was a Dominican woman. She had a breast augmentation and liposuction. But she was crying all night. And I'm like, girl, it's just breast and lipo. Like, I got tummy tuck, BBL. Like, and I'm not crying. That's why I think, like, I have high pain tolerance. So, and then my overnight nurse was there. My companion was there too that came with me. But he had to leave because they said it was only one person to a room. And the girl that had surgery, my roommate, her husband was there. So my companion took an Uber from Sipler to the Airbnb back, and my overnight nurse stayed with me. When I out of surgery, I'm gonna insert a picture or video. I did not wake up in a faja. I was wrapped with ace bandage with this green thing and these white thing. So I did not put on a faja until the next morning. And thank God I brought my own little snack because they try to give me what? Crackers and cheese. The crackers taste good, but I ain't eating no cheese. Like I don't even really like American cheese. I like Jamaican cheese. And I had my own little snacks. I ate my own little snacks and then try to give me oatmeal. I do not eat oatmeal. I eat porridge, not oatmeal. So that happened. And what else? My overnight nurse, it's like she was heaven sent. Her name is Genesis. She's also my Airbnb nurse. So I have her for 7 days at my Airbnb after surgery. And she was also my overnight nurse. So it was just like a good transition. I love her. So she was my overnight nurse, yes. And then in the morning, before surgery, I told myself I wasn't going to get the pain pump because I heard so many different things about it. Like it's a hit or miss. I was like, I'm not going to get the pain pump. But then in the end, I chickened out and paid $300 for this damn pain pump. And I was swearing for this pain pump. So I paid $300 for this pain pump, right? This pain pump, after surgery, I was texting everybody like, the pain pump is the best. Pain pump ain't shit. Do not waste your money. Save your $300. Do not waste your money. You do not need this pain pump. One, it's been 4 days. My pain pump is already moving. It leaks. One, this is off right now. You flick it. That's how you turn it on. And it will leak. So it's annoying, like, to feel my hand wet. Like, so I usually always have it off. I would turn it on when it's time for massage, but it's still pretty much full. I wish they would just give me back my $300. Yes, but this pain pump, if I get around to, I would not be getting this pain pump. 10 p.m. works just fine. So that's the pain pump. And I keep it in between my chest. So, yes. So I got the pain pump. Then they check my hemo in the morning. Like the only thing, like I'm a big baby for needles. Like I say I have a high pain tolerance, but put a needle near me, I do not like needles. I hate needles. I hate needles. And they had to draw my blood to test my emo before surgery. Before I came to the DR, I did labs forever because my surgery was first supposed to be in April, May, June, July, or August. Like how many months my surgery been planning for? And every time it keep getting moved because I found out that my body is something that I've always had, and my primary care doctor never paid attention to it though. That it takes longer for my blood to clot. My PTT takes like after 35 seconds, it's like after 35 seconds your blood is supposed to clot. Mine's take longer to clot. So I had to get clearance from my hematologist in America to have the surgery. But when I came here, they said my PCT was fine for them. They didn't even tell me I need to go see a hematologist. So that. So my hemo before I left home was 13.5. But I always hear when you fly, your hemo will drop. So when I did my labs, my hemo was a 13.3. So it dropped 2 point. So after surgery, they said my hemo was a 7.9. So I lost a lot of blood. So they was like, oh, you need a blood transfusion. I really didn't want a blood transfusion, but it is what it is. So I got one bag of blood and they charged me 150 for it. And my private nurse told me that it's going to probably take 2 hours for them to find my blood type. I think I'm O positive. And then it takes an hour and 30 minutes for me, the transfusion to be done. But everything went so fast. It did not take them 2 hours to get the blood. It took them less than an hour. And then I got the blood and everything. And then I was wheeled out of SIPLA back to my Airbnb. My body was still in shock. I was shaking. That shit is annoying. The shakes just, oh, made me feel like, oh, I don't like that part. So that was surgery day and after surgery. So now, first day back at the Airbnb, like God is on my side because probably because I had other surgeries in the past. Like I had an ovarian torsion, I've had a C-section, I had weight loss surgery, and now I had this surgery. Like my pain tolerance is so high. Like, girls was telling me that they can't walk. I'm walking around. I walk perfectly fine. Like my body is not in pain. The only time my body's in pain is like when there's fluid in my back and on my stomach, like when I need a massage. But other than that, I am fine. And only other thing that annoys me is this damn drain. The drain is wrapped around and then they stitched it to your private part. I hate that. Like I really wish they would take the drain out because I feel it on this side. That's the only thing that irritates me. Yeah, so first day post-op, I was walking around. That was my fear because I'm like, I don't want no blood clots. Yeah, and at the hospital, they gave me one shot in your leg to prevent blood clots. I'm like, I don't want no blood clots. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to walk around, but I walk around just fine. And I do more walking than sitting and laying in the bed. I don't like laying in bed because it takes too much to lay in the bed, my incision, and then have to pull up, and then it's too much. But after leaving the hospital, I had to go get my meds. And I love to budget. I love to can't pencil things out. I love to plan ahead. And I told myself, oh, my meds is going to cost me $300. But it didn't cost me $300. It cost me $160. But in the end, it did cost me $300 because I bought more extra medicine. So other stuff I could take home. And I had to buy extra chalk pads and gauze. And like I had all these extra stuff at home. But I'm like, oh, I'm doing too much. I'm packing too much. No, overpack. Overpack then rather to buy. So now it's like I bought things twice. So that happened. I went to the pharmacy, came home, and the pharmacy from SIPLA to my Airbnb is only an 8-minute drive. But Dominican Republic traffic is so horrible. It feels like a 30-minute drive. And after surgery, I needed to pee so bad because after surgery, you wake up with a catheter, and my catheter bag kept on because they kept on giving me fluids. Like it was filling up fast. And then when I'm in the car going home, they was like, do you want us to drop you at home at the Airbnb or go pick up meds? I'm like, just pick up my meds with me because I don't want to be by myself. And then we could go to the Airbnb. So at the pharmacy, thank God they were sweet. They let me use their bathroom. I found how it was so messy. Oh yeah, next thing. I said I woke up out of surgery without my faja. The day when I'm leaving the hospital, they put this faja on me, stage 1. And guess what? It's a size medium. Diamond do not wear a medium in nothing. So I was shocked. When she was like, oh, I have small or medium. I'm like, no, miss. I need like a large, a extra large, a 2XL. No, but my faja, my stage 1 is a medium. And my masseuse told me today that my medium is too big. So it needs to be taken in. Because I bought my stage 2 faja on Amazon. And I bought it an extra large and it couldn't fit. I had to send it back. I got a 2XL. The belly part couldn't close because my belly was big. But the 2XL fits fine now, but I don't think I'm going to wear the Amazon faja because my masseuse said it's not enough compression and it's going to suffocate my booty. So I don't want nothing to happen to my nice new booty. So I'm going to buy a faja out here. Yes, so that happened. So this is a picture of the blood they take. Their needles in the Dominican Republic is bigger than the needles in the US. So this is Central Medical Lab that's supposed to open 24 hours, but it's not because of COVID. This is the blood that I had to get for the blood transfusion. My iron level was 13.3 before surgery, and after surgery it dropped to 7.9. So I paid for one bag of blood and it was $150, and that's the medicine ball I paid $300 for. Thanks for watching my video. I'm going to be coming out with part 2 next. And this last clip is a video of outside the Airbnb on the balcony at nighttime.